Y'all, man, what is good? 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 It's a little short stream. It's not nothing too long, nothing too big, man. Oh shit. It's a little short stream for y'all today. Couple things I want to talk about. Look, man. For those of y'all who are watching this on my, because this is this is a recording, not just a live stream. I'm only doing these live streams to, get comfortable in front of the camera. Um, and learn how the streaming shit work. Obviously, this not there's not gonna be nobody in this shit, and that's okay. So, current state that I'm at, this is day 39. I'm almost 40 days in. That means I'm almost 40 days in. 40 days is gonna be like tomorrow is 40 days. Super Bowl Sunday, aka. I'll be 40 days in this streaming for 100 days straight. Now look, there's some things I wanted to talk about. So with the content shit, man, what I've learned in my content journey so far, there's like a thin line. You gotta do what people ask you to do. There's gonna be things that you're gonna have to do in your content because you're gonna have people who support you, bro. If you on your content journey, there's gonna be people who are gonna support you and they're gonna ask you to, you know, um, do things. You may not necessarily want to do them, but you doing them shows your appreciation to your community. And that's what I've learned with my content journey. Um, I would say do that. The biggest thing that I would say too on your content journey is always stay true to yourself. Literally. That goes with anything in life. Stay true to yourself. Don't become somebody who is a people pleaser, because it's not going to get you nowhere in life. Do not become a people pleaser. I've seen a lot of people kiss ass in life and it gets them nowhere. Never become that person kissing ass. Because if you kissing somebody's ass, you lowering yourself and putting somebody else on a higher pedestal. You never want to do that in life. You want to view yourself as the highest form that you possibly can. And I know people will be like, oh, that sounds selfish, blah, blah, blah. It's not selfish. If you don't view yourself as the highest form, then nobody else is going to view you at that high standard. And if nobody views you as that, then you're never going to get the respect that you deserve. But the common person will tell you that you're being cocky. It's not being cocky. You're literally just doing what you want to do. And that's what you always got to do in life. You always got to do what you want to do. You always got to put yourself first. If you don't put yourself first, bro, I'm telling you, you're going to look back later in life. And I haven't even got to that point in life. But you're going to look back later in life and be like, damn, I wish I would have locked in and put myself first. Because, bro, for instance, I put people in front of myself in my life. And where did that get me? It got me nowhere in life. Those same people who I put ahead of me in life are the same people who are quick to leave your life and blame you for their problems that they caused themselves. So all that taught me was do what you want to do. And I push back my own goals and I push back my own dreams trying to help other people out. Them same people are going to leave. Those same people are going to do what's best for them. So at the end of the day, what I learned from that is you got to do what's best for you, bro. You got to. And some people may not agree with it, with doing what's best for you. But those are people you probably just genuinely don't even need in your life. A lot of people in your life are lessons. And a lot of people think that people are putting their life to stay there. A lot of people aren't putting your life to stay there. That is the sad truth. That is the saddest truth. A lot of people are put in your life and they're not even meant to stay there. You'll know the ones who are meant to stay there genuinely. There will be certain people in your life and and those people who are meant to be in your life are the people who are pushing you to do the uncomfortable things to make you a better person. Because look, if people are telling you, nah, it's okay, blah, 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 keeping you in a comfort state, you're never going to grow. You are never going to grow being comfortable. You can ask any billionaire, you can ask any person who is successful in whatever field you want to proceed in or succeed in. you can ask anybody in that field. They're going to tell you every time they had to go and do the most uncomfortable things to succeed in that field. 100%. And that's what you got to do. You genuinely have to be uncomfortable in life. And you probably heard that before. You're like, blah, blah, blah. Bro, like with this streaming shit, bro. I be streaming and people don't watch my streams yet. I don't have a core community yet, right? And I know that. I know how streaming works. But I'm literally talking to myself right now, right? And it's uncomfortable at first because you're like, bro, you look fucking insane. You're literally talking to yourself. No, like nobody's listening. But I know this message one day people will listen. Literally, people are going to listen to this, and they're gonna be like, damn, like this dude was genuinely like in the right mindset. Because you gotta be in the right mindset. And look, sometimes being in the right mindset, what I'm about to say is gonna sound crazy, but bro, you gotta be delusional, bro. You gotta be delusional. Because look, in my mind, I'm talking to 0 people right now. But one day I'm gonna be talking to thousands. Thousands will see this. Thousands will see this. They'll see the same message. And they'll be like, bro was prophesying. Bro, there's so much that's going to happen in my life. Like genuinely. Because I know I'm not gonna give up until I get to where I wanna be. That ass. And I used to be the person to be like, man, how long is this going to take? How long is this going to take? I would give up. I gave up time after time after time after time after time. And there's people who believed in me, you know, and I would doubt myself. And at the end of the day, you can either be your biggest fan or you could be your biggest hater. And a lot of times in life, you're going to be both. You know, that's just the sad truth about it. A lot of times in life, you're going to be both. You're going to be your biggest fan and you're going to be your biggest hater. That's the unfortunate truth about it. But be your biggest fan more than you are your biggest hater. Like, that's just the truth. Like I said, right now, my content creating journey and streaming journey, I started posting serious, like taking this content creation super serious. January 15th. Of 2026. And I guess you could say I started at the beginning of the new year is when I really was like, bro, if I want this shit, I'm gonna have to go and get it. Cause look, in my eyes, bro, this is my biggest dream, bro. Nobody's gonna save me, right? Nobody's gonna save you, whoever you are watching this video. Nobody's gonna save you. And you could be one of those people who rely on mommy and daddy, you know. You can rely on them as long as they're on this earth. Once you know God takes them away from you, and it's going to happen one day, you're not going to be able to rely on nobody. You know what I'm saying? And you really can't rely on mommy and daddy. You know, the mindset that I have is I want to provide for my family. You know, I want to be in spots to where I can genuinely provide for my family, and they look at me and they're like, okay, you know, he locked in. Because at the end of the day, you could be somebody's motivation by you locking in. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't want to lock in, and they don't want to do the uncomfortable things. That's the biggest thing in life. People don't want to be uncomfortable, right? And, bro, you got to be uncomfortable. Like, that is just the end of it. Like, you have to be uncomfortable. Like, genuinely. You have to be uncomfortable. You know, a couple days ago, or was it yesterday or 2 days ago, I was looking at my views and stuff. I'm like, bro, my video I posted didn't get the amount of views I wanted. Because content creation, you look at numbers, bro. You look at numbers. Numbers are very important. Especially if you take it as serious as what I'm taking it now. You pay deep attention to the analytics and stuff like that. You be like, man, bro, this is pointless, blah, blah, blah. But then you got to understand, like, bro, when you plant a seed, that flower is not going, or that flower, that tree, that fruit, whatever seed you plant, it ain't going to grow the next day. It ain't going to grow the next day. And if it does grow the next day, then that ain't a fruit that's worth eating. Or a tree that's worth like, you know, being up. It ain't going to last long if it sprouts the next day. And I realized that. And I was looking at my views. I'm like, bro, my video, like, I put a lot of, you know, energy into that. Why is it not getting that back? And I realized it's a seed. This content creation shit is a seed. And, like, you got to understand that. Like, if you're on your content creating journey or whatever journey you're on, I'm really just talking to content creators at this time because like this is something that I'm actually working on. This is something that I'm doing. So like I want people to like see my journey and be like, oh, okay, you know, even he was going through these tough times. Right now, it ain't tough times because like at the end of the day, I see where this is going. I see the path that I'm on, and I'm like, as long as I have faith in myself, and as long as I keep pushing, there is no way I could fail. There's no way I could fail. Like genuinely, if you keep pushing at it every day, every single day, bro, you would never fail. It's impossible. It's impossible to fail. Cause look, when you do fail, you always have an opportunity to redeem yourself. For the most part, unless you die. But every day you wake up and you're breathing, it's another day to redeem yourself, bro. Like genuinely. And look, there's a lot of people who would never understand the shit that comes out of my mouth. And that's okay. Like genuinely. I know my messages aren't for everybody. But the people who get it will get it. And it will change your life. When you apply the shit that I talk about. Now look. With content creation, with anything, sports, you want to go to school to be a doctor, a lawyer, bro. That shit don't come overnight, bro. Like it don't. Life is a marathon. Shout out to Nipsey Hussle, bro. I always give him his credit for that. Life is a marathon. You want to run the right marathon. You don't want to be stuck in a rat race. You don't want to be running a race where you constantly doing shit that you don't want to do. And that goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Like, you don't be in that state to where, you pleasing everybody, but you ain't never done what you really wanted to do. You ain't never done what was on your mind, what was on your heart. You got to do what's on your mind. You got to do what's on your heart, bro. Because if you don't, bro, you going to look back on your deathbed and be like, I ain't do shit. I literally wasted this time. And that's the thing. I'd say like 98% of people are going to waste their life doing shit that they don't want to do. And that 2% are the people who make it. You know what I'm saying? And make it don't got to be about money. Like, you can make it in your life and it has nothing to do with money. You know what I'm saying? As long as you happy with where you at and you know that you tried your best to get to where you wanted to be and you finally got to that point, bruh, that's making it in life. Some people, their form of making it is getting married and having a house, and just starting a family. That's some people's form of making it. And some people will never get that, because they didn't do the right steps necessary and they didn't work on themselves to get their happy ending, I guess you would say. And that's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. People never lock in. They claim they want something and they never apply the steps. I used to be one of them people where I would say, man, I want this. I want to be a big content creator. And bro, I was not posting no videos. I wasn't doing nothing. How the fuck do I expect to blow up? Or how the fuck do I expect to get something if I'm not even doing what I say I want? And like, if you want to be somebody, if you want to be somebody in a certain field, if you want to be in the NBA, nigga, you better be playing like you in the NBA. You got to act like you there before you even get there. If you want to be a content creator, bro, you got to carry yourself like a content creator. You got to do the content. You got to work like a content creator. You want to be a doctor, you got to study to be a doctor. Act like a doctor. It's anything in life. Bro, and when you figure that out, and when you got to move like how you say you want to be in life, you got to move like that. And like I said, bro, a lot of people going to be like, he just yapping. But when you check this video back in due time, you're going to be like, he wasn't yapping. He literally told you. I'm just documenting the testimonies that I have on my journey to get to where I need to be. Because I know there's going to be somebody out there who's going to be like, how he do it? For instance, for me, bro, shout out to all the people who inspire me. Kai Cenat, for example. Shout out to Corey Kenshin. Shout out to Plaque Boy Max. Shout out to Jinxie, Phantom, all them people, bro. Cash Nasty Flight. Bro, them is the people in my field where I look at it and I'm like, damn, like, they really applied that pressure. Solo Illuminati. They all had to carry themselves as a content creator before they was as big as what they are. That's what I realized. I'll be looking at them. I'm like looking at their journey. They didn't document it like how I do. But at the same time, they did. When you see their videos, that's the documentation. You see them grow. I'm just telling you personally how I'm feeling on a mental state. Because a lot of creators ain't gonna tell you how they feel on that mental journey. Because content creation is a mental journey, and content creation is genuinely not for everybody. Everybody want to be like, oh, I'll make millions, blah blah blah. If you in it for the money, my nigga, you ain't never really gonna get. Money is a side effect of it. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't really like end up falling in love with it, or like want to actually be that, then nigga, you ain't made for that. Genuinely, that's why you got so many people who are quitting. And I had to understand that my damn self. Like, nigga, how the fuck am I gonna say I want something in life and I'm not even working to get there? That don't make no sense. I'm just talking. Like, I'm just talking if I'm not working to get to where I want to be. Telling everybody where I want to do. But what the fuck have I done to prove it? What the fuck have I done? And you got to ask yourself, what the fuck have you done? What have you done to get to where you want to be? So at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, what do you want to do with your life? I'm sorry I keep yawning, bro. I'm tired. And I got to record my YouTube videos for tomorrow morning. But you got to ask yourself, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to be? If you know, that's beautiful. If you don't know, you got to figure it out. You got to figure that shit out. But if you do know, why aren't you applying the steps that you need to apply to your life to get to where you want to be? Why? Because look, like I said earlier, bro, nobody's coming to save you, bro. So you're going to have to lock in and really chase your dreams. Like, genuinely, you're going to have to lock in and chase your dreams. Because you're going to be like, I wasted time. And you don't ever want to be in that position of where you feel like you wasted time. We already wasted enough time in our life. Going to school, doing stuff like that, working jobs that we don't want to work. Bro, stop wasting your life. Go chase that dream. Go chase that purpose. And let me stop saying chase. Because if you love it, nigga, if you love it and you feel like it's your purpose, then it's meant for you. There's no need to chase. It'll naturally come to you. But work to get your blessings. Work to, work to appreciate those rewards that field or whatever you want in life. Work to get those rewards and be grateful for those rewards. Because if you're not working, you ain't never gonna get it, bro. But that's the end of the stream, man. It was just literally a quick little yap. I'll use these to document everything. Because I know people will look back on this later in time. But yeah, I love you, whoever you are, and whatever part of your journey you're in, or whatever you want to do in your life. I love you, and I hope you take what I said serious.